Well, we are getting in live visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's reached Bangkok. Remember, he left earlier in the day for a 3-day visit to Thailand to basically participate in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, East Asia, and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Summit. Now, during this particular visit, we are also given to understand that Prime Minister Modi would be addressing the Indian community in Bangkok at an event that has been titled as Swadeshi PM Modi at 6 p.m. India time today. We're being told that this has been organized by the Thai Indians in close coordination with the Indian Embassy in Bangkok. These are visuals that you are seeing right now of Prime Minister Modi in Bangkok. Important to point out here is that India essentially looking at furthering the Look East policy. Prime Minister Modi has stressed upon the need to look into the Look East policy, and also the fact that with regards to increased trade cooperation is something that is going to be part of this entire summit. Joining me right now is my colleague and executive editor Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, Prime Minister Modi has already reached in Bangkok. This is a crucial summit given the fact that ASEAN trade is also significantly gone up, and part of this summit would also be those multilateral talks that are likely to take place.
Well, Shravan, by all counts, this is a very important foreign policy visit for Prime Minister Modi. Today, of course, there is a bit of a community event, which is at around 8:30 p.m. Bangkok time. But apart from that, I believe all other engagements are intense, foreign policy multilateral events, beginning with the ASEAN summit, then the India-ASEAN summit, the East Asia summit, the RCEP leaders summit, and then the Indo-Pacific Economic Forum. So I believe for the next 48 hours, Prime Minister would be engaging with world leaders, including a one-on-one with President Xi Jinping, with whom he had an informal summit just about a fortnight back in Mamallapuram near Chennai. But what is important is that this region, Chavan, apart from the civilizational links that we have, is very crucial for trade and economy. Even in the present, about 40% of India's trade passes through Malacca Straits. At about $85 billion, ASEAN constitutes, I believe, third largest trading partner of India. And the RCEP summit is going to be very important because it's going to create a free trade area, which is going to be roughly half of the world in terms of both the volume of trade and also the population, with China and India both part of it. There are some concerns about RCEP giving a backdoor entry to China, essentially creating a free trade area with China, because with the rest of the components of RCEP, with ASEAN, South Korea, Japan, and Australia and New Zealand, we anyway have a free trade area, free trade commitments. But having said that, overall, if you look at it, it's going to be very important over the next 2 days to see how India engages with this very important nation, or very important region of strategic importance. It's not just with this RCEP that we engage with, on RCEP that we engage with ASEAN. There is BIMSTEC, there is the Ganga-Mekong cooperation, and then we have the Act East policy focus, and Prime Minister has said that ASEAN constitutes the core of India's Act East policy. And as we wait for the Prime Minister to really
Abhishek,
come out of the aircraft, this should be about 3:30 p.m. Bangkok time. He, as of now, I believe, as of today, I believe he had only formal engagement with the Thai side, and then the community event where he would be addressing the Indian diaspora, which he generally does whenever he travels to these foreign policy assignments, and wherever the Indian community is present in some numbers. Thailand, of course, has a very direct connect and diaspora presence. As you see, some officials are coming out. I can see the Secretary East of the MEA, Vijay Thakur Singh, coming out. And I believe after this, the Prime Minister would be making his appearance and getting down from the aircraft. Shravan, as I said, the aspect of trade is important, the aspect of civilizational link is important, And a very important sideshow, which is also equally important, is the Indo-Pacific Economic Forum that is going to take place, which is essentially between India, United States, Australia, and Japan. And there have been concerns which Prime Minister himself has addressed, for example, at the Shangri-La dialogue last year in Singapore, that the Quad and the Quad is essentially is not really aimed at containing any nation, meaning China, but that it is about open seas and open trade in global commons like the Strait of Malacca or even the South China Sea. And Shravan, Prime Minister has really come out. I believe he would be received by our MEA team and the embassy team in Bangkok, and some representatives from the Kingdom of Thailand. Shravan.
Abhishek, as I understand, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership trade deal would be the biggest talking point, given the fact that this is in the final leg of negotiations at this point in time. If done, then perhaps this would facilitate the biggest free trade region in the world. So would it be correct to say that perhaps this is going to be one of the biggest talking point of this entire Far East push that we are looking at? Well, we'll go back to Abhishek in a while to get us the latest as far as this Far East push is concerned. On the other side of the break, we'll get you the latest from Bangkok.